Alright, this is my one and final update on my car rental experience from Bucharest, Romania. Company I used was Car Tech in Bucharest, right next to the airport. And today I found out for certain that I'm not going to get my money back. I called Capital One a couple of days ago to resubmit another claim after I found out on June 6th that they couldn't refund the money. They asked me to provide paperwork. I gave them all the paperwork I had, and again we were going back in circles because what I gave them now they received from the company itself, from the Car Tech, is the contract. But this contract was supposedly a money hold until I returned the car back to them, a deposit, if you will. Well, today I found out that that doesn't matter. What I signed was a new contract and I'm responsible for it. So Capital One, just so you know, they're all about the money, and I won't use them anymore. Personally, I will not use Capital One. When I asked and I realized that I was taken for that money, $2,224 and 64 cents, I think that's the total. I asked Capital One to freeze the interest on that money. I said, at least that's the least you can do for me, since you're not willing to go back to Car Tech and show them the letter that I wrote. In fact, Capital One asked me to write a letter to describe the incident, and I did just that. Apparently this letter means nothing to them now because I went and called Capital One customer service and asked to be escalated to the top of the pyramid, to the president of Capital One. Unfortunately, you cannot talk to the president of this company. The person I talked to was very cold and kept telling me that this is it, this is the highest level you can get to. I will take your feedback, but you have no one else above me to be able to help you. We can't freeze the interest on your account, but once it's posted, then you can call us back and we'll see if we can take off the interest. We'll see. And I said, I can't do that. We'll see. I said, you're telling me now that you're forcing me to go get another loan somewhere else to cover this, so I don't have to pay 24.24% interest, because that's what that is. On purchases, Capital One at this time, it's a variable interest, and that is 24.24% interest. That's not fair to me as a customer after I've done explain them and cried enough. I'm not going to do it anymore. Cried enough. Trying to explain it every time. They go over and over, ask me to explain the situation. I'm not going to do that, but I'm telling you, whoever's watching this, don't trust Capital One is on your back, or has your back, or will help you in any way. They don't care. At the end of the day, you sign a contract. They don't care how you signed it. They don't care if you're lied into signing that contract. They don't care the company you do business with. I even asked them, I said, the least you can do is blackmail these people, so in the future, other customers from Capital One won't be burned, won't be taken for this money. They're not going to do that. Of course not. Of course. Why would they do that? At the end of the day, I look like a fool, right? For trusting them. I said, I live in US. I've been in US for most of my life. Signed contracts here, never been taken. When I go to Romania, my birth country, I get taken for the very first time I rent a car. And Capital One, with all the power it has, is not willing to accept my letter. When I told them, I said, there's a camera in that office. Your legal team can obtain a copy of the video where the guy repeatedly kept telling me, it's okay, you get your money back when you bring the car back to us in the same condition. That was the premises under which I signed the contract, thinking this was a deposit contract that would cover me, well, that would allow me to have the car while I was in Romania. It would cover them in case of an accident. That's what I tried to tell, because that's what a guy said to me. In case you have an accident with this car, we'll keep this money and we'll use it to fix the car. Highway robbery? Yes. There is a God, though. So one day this will be put on a scale, and these people that seem to be so honest treat me like I was their brother, when in fact they knew all along they were going to take me for over $2,000. God is just. That's all I'm going to say. There's a God. There'll be a judgment day for everybody when we cross over, and they'll have to answer to God for what they did. Unfortunately, there's nothing else I can do at this point. I have some family members in Romania that are lawyers, so I passed that information to them. But at the end of the day, please, I'm putting this out there just so you know, whoever's trying to rent a vehicle out of the country, anywhere else you go, do not listen to what they tell you. Read the contract. If it's something that you don't feel is right, don't sign. Don't sign it. Don't do it. You'll have heartache and pain, and you'll feel cheated, lied to, etc. That feeling is horrible. I don't wish that on anybody. Even these guys at Capital One kept telling me, I understand how you feel. I understand. No, you don't. Not unless you've been taken like that, you don't understand. You don't. I hope you never will. And you who's watching this, I hope you're never going to feel cheated like this. It was wrong what they did, all the way to the throne of God. It was wrong. But there is a God, and I believe one day this thing will be sorted out. But until then, I have to pay this. I will pay this amount. I'll get another loan somewhere else with lower interest and get this taken care of. But Capital One, be best assured, you will not have my business again. And I'm telling you, if you're a Capital One holder, be very aware, because if you do go through something like this, you can escalate it all you want. You'll never get to speak to the higher ups. Of course you never will, because if you do, whoever's put you there to speak with them will get fired. But Capital One leaders, they do this on purpose. They want to shut everybody up, and there's nothing I can do. Obviously, I have to shut up at this point, because I can't call. In fact, the lady said, if you keep calling over here, it won't go higher than this. I am the person you want to talk to. I'm telling you, I can't help you. These are the rules, blah, blah, blah. Straight up, cold blood, no feelings, no compassion, nothing. So yeah, they don't have your back. They won't have my back. But Capital One, you tainted it. You tainted my experience with you. And now I know you'll never, ever have anything good from my mouth to say about you, because you aren't about a customer satisfaction. You aren't about making your customers happy. From what I see so far, as long as I pay the money, you're happy with me, sure, you'll give me the credit. But when you actually need to step in and do something, you don't care. So we're done. Capital One and I, we're done. MobiCar Tech, I'll pay your charges. I have to pay those charges. But be sure that whenever I mention a name, it's not going to be good. So to everybody who's listening to this and watching this, two entities, MobiCar Tech in Bucharest, Romania, next to the airport, do not use them. They will steal your money. They will lie to your face, make you feel like you're their brother or sister. No, don't do it. Don't rent from them. And then Capital One, credit card. Don't use them. Well, you can do whatever you want. But I can tell you, they didn't care for me. I called them numerous times today. I spent half a day on the phone, reliving my past experience, and reliving my feelings with this company and how I was taken. And Capital One, all they could do is say, I understand your frustration. But they didn't. And they didn't care. And they didn't do anything to make it better. The least they could have done is freeze the interest on this money, and they're not willing to do that. So that's it. That's the end of the road. Anyway, thanks for watching, and be careful from now on. I will read every contract in the world that I have to sign in detail. If it takes me a day to read it, I will read it. But if it doesn't feel right, don't sign it for your own good, because you will be taken. And obviously these days your word means nothing. You cannot take your word in a court of law. They're always going to ask you, what did you sign, black on white. Even judges have no more compassion for people like me who have been taken on a word based on a lie, etc. So be careful what you sign. Thanks for watching. Enjoy your day.